Hello everyone, I am Life Coach Tracy Mack of Tracy Mack Coaching Services, and I want to offer you what my VIP clients call a Tracy Mack moment. And I know that VIP normally means very important person, but in our culture here at Tracy Mack Coaching Services, VIP means value and purpose. Those people who find value in knowing their purpose, mission, and passion. So sometimes in the process of coaching, teaching, training, mentoring, I'll offer them a Tracy Mack moment, just a moment of encouragement. So listen up. If you are a coach, a mentor, a trainer, a teacher, maybe an aspiring entrepreneur, or maybe you have a small business and things may not be going quite like you planned it or quite like you think it should. Maybe the dream is a little shaky. Happens to the best of us. Or maybe you are in middle management on executive support team or leadership group where you work. Just listen, I want to encourage you. I looked at my calendar today and I see that 2 days from now, which will be November 30th, I resigned. My official last day working for the state was November 30th, 2011. And my first day, December 1st, 2011 was the first time I hired myself full-time to work for me. And I had to be worthy. I was like, would I hire me? And I thought that 2 to 3 years before I did my jump, but I wasn't worthy to hire me. There were some things I needed to get in place, some little mini jumps I needed to make. And the word jump keeps coming to mind. I was with a client today and a friend of mine last week, and they're both in the same situation. And he said, I need a Tracy Mack moment. My client said. I said, okay, you got it. What's up? He said, I want to do this entrepreneur thing. I want to jump and have my own business. He said, and I feel like, what am I doing wrong? And I got a wife, I got children. Some of them are almost college age. He said, and I just can't just up and quit. I can't jump. He said, then I saw this Steve Harvey video that was very encouraging and inspirational and motivational. He said, but I can't jump. And I said, you know what? I've seen that video. It is indeed motivational and encouraging. I said, but you know what? Maybe you can make some mini jumps. Because a lot of people will go out here, because Steve Harvey has a wonderful rags to riches story, to go from being homeless, sleeping in his car, to having talk shows, several, running at the same time, a radio show, movies, that's a miraculous story. And sometimes that happens, and a lot of times it does not happen like that. I failed several times. I jumped into entrepreneurship, and let me tell you, it was such a miserable fail. I learned, but it was a miserable fail to the point I almost had to beg for my job back and ask for advance pay. Yes, I was not ready. The second time I tried to jump, I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. We were in the process of moving, and I was like, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to launch out, and I wasn't ready. I didn't have what I needed. I didn't know all I needed to know. And I had to go back and get that day job. And let me tell you something. Don't let anyone discourage you or make you think working for someone else is something bad. I get really tired of people thinking that they have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to start your own business to be successful. But everyone can behave entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial just means to take risk for a payoff, basically. And you can do that no matter what you do. So I know we should all have multiple streams of income, and that's a wonderful thing. But everybody's not going to be a business owner. That's not everybody's purpose. That's not everyone's vision. And that's not everyone's aptitude and personality. It takes a different type of person. It doesn't make one better or the other. So in the process of talking to him about that and giving him the Tracy Mack moment, I began to think about, jumping. When I jumped the first time in 2004, then tried to jump again in 2007. And then it finally worked out because I was more prepared. One thing about jumping is you got to know the jumper. You got to know you. You got to know who you are and why you're here. And that's a step a lot of people want to skip. They see the lights, the dream. They see the dream and don't want to go through the nightmare. Because let me tell you, I love what I do. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. But it's not all kicks and giggles. You have to work hard. There's failures. There's failures within failures. There's rejection. But there's also those things that make it all right and make it all pay off. The ability to help people with their lives 3 to 4 generations removed in a positive way. You can't even equate that to a monetary amount. But I just want to say, in the jumping, you got to know the jumper. Self-discovery and personal development, like I said, a lot of people want to skip over it. But if you're not aligned with who you are and why you're here, then everything you do is going to be off. Everywhere you go, you're going to be the Jonah, messing up everybody else in the boat because you're out of place. So the first thing about jumping is you got to know the jumper. The second thing about jumping is you got to build your jump muscle. Your first jump may not be jumping from working for someone else into full-time employment. I had to build my jump muscle. One way you build your jump muscle is investing into the very profession that you think you want to do. I've had so many people come to me over the years and want to get with me about them starting a coaching practice. And I'm willing to help, whether it be through, just talking or certification or suggesting certifications if it's not my program. But they don't want to invest. A lot of people don't want to invest. They want to be a coach but have never hired a coach. And you have to build that jump muscle. So how can you jump into business full time if you never jumped into making a payment to someone who's doing what you do? So you got to build that jump muscle. Your jump muscle also is being built when you establish relationships with people who can support you. Because once you establish relationships with people who can support you, it automatically reveals the ones who won't. Whether that you can have family and friends, let me tell you, they'll support you in the beginning, but it's not their job to support you and carry your business. Because once you have your little workshops or have your product or offer your service, they may not keep buying and buying and buying. They're not obligated to. It's your vision, not theirs. But once you do get that support system and that support team, it may be a coach, like I said, it may be your family, maybe some friends, but you got to realize that's also going to shed light on those who don't support, because you may have great support and family, but you can also have the most rejection. And I've experienced both sides. So that jump muscle, you got to build it up. You got to take little mini jumps sometimes. Invest in a workshop. Invest in a seminar. Make sure it yields a good return before you go to the next one. Invest in hiring people to help you get your baby ready. Because dream is beautiful, but sometimes you need that support when that dream looks like a nightmare from time to time. You know what I'm saying? So, and the third thing is know what you're jumping into. It's not going to be perfect. No, you're not going to have all the I's dotted and all the T's crossed, but put forth some effort to know what you're jumping into. You may want to do some research on your potential clientele, the ecographic, the geographic, the demographic. Where are they? How do you serve them? Who will you serve them? Where will you serve them? What will you serve them with? And a lot of times people don't want to do all of that, but that's part of the work. And then you get to reap. Because how can you not sow into something and expect to reap? Now, you may not always reap where you sow, but you will always reap what you sowed. So again, the first thing before you jump, you may not be able to take that extreme, big time leap the first time, but know who the jumper is. Know who you are. Know why you're here. That personal development, that self-discovery, it aligns everything else up right. And it would allow you to do in minutes. God will do things in minutes, what takes some people years, when you get that alignment right. And that's an area where I must say, I got to toot my own horn. That's the creme de la creme of my niche, helping people with self-discovery and personal development. So know the jumper. Know who is doing the jumping. Second, remember, is to build your jump muscle. Get those calves. Some people trying to take that big leap of faith and jump out. And they need to start by jumping up and down to build those calf muscles up so that when you take that leap, you can soar higher and greater. So maybe you're just going to jump up and down. Maybe invest in a coach. Maybe invest in a mentor or a teacher or a program or certification so you can kind of see where the road goes. And then thirdly, know what you're jumping into. Learn the terrain. You know, if you need somebody to journey with you or a mentor to help show and guide you, nobody gets anywhere alone. All the great people you see, whether they be on television, in books and magazines, they didn't do it alone. Greatness never shows up alone, and success is much sweeter shared. So remember, don't feel bad if you're not an entrepreneur. You can behave entrepreneurial. That's not a second best. You're doing what you are called to do. And that may be support. I don't know where my business would be without my back office. And those people do not necessarily have their own business, or virtual assistants that I've hired over the years, or people that have really helped, that I've worked with, whether it be collaborated with or hired for contract labor. I work with middle management teams and executive staff and leadership teams, and those people, they're right where they want to be. And sometimes, let me say this, we work with different entities and groups, and I feel in our business, we've gone from Peace Place LLC to Tracy Mac Coaching Services. Then we did Tracy Mac Publishing, and all those things are going real well. And part of our 10-year plan was to launch Tracy Mac Solutions for Life Institute. And so that's happening because I noticed that when I work with corporations and business, a lot of the people I really want to serve were not only not in the room, they weren't at the table. They weren't at the training. And these are the very people that, you want to be with, that are jumpers and they're ready to jump. But you gotta be willing to show up so someone can help you with your process of jumping. So I want to encourage you, jump. Know the jumper. Make many jumps, MINI and MANNY. And then know what you're jumping into. And I promise you, it will be much sweeter. You'll have much more sustained and consistent success if you jump well, if you jump with wisdom. So again, I want to encourage you with this Tracy Mac moment because you too are VIP. If you've listened this long, you do find value and purpose. And be kind, be excellent, be generous, be authentic. And while you're at it, go ahead and be extraordinary and jump. But your jump is not going to look like anybody else's. This is your jump. Know the jumper. Take many and many jumps and know what you're jumping into. Much love and peace. I'm Tracy Mac.